my question is, I've had custody of my two boys that are 10 and 13 ever since 2014. They have seen their mother maybe once in every 3 years. I'm thinking about going to get her rights taken away because there's no calls throughout the years, no birthdays, no Christmases, and just a terrible mother. And I'm on the same page with my kids that they just don't want her in their life. So how hard would that be, and how much costly would that be if I wanted to do that?
Okay, thank you, David.
Question,
David, and that's kind of a complicated issue. It's very difficult to take away somebody's rights, visitation rights, custodial rights, whatever rights she might have. Let me ask you, do you want to take away her rights just because she's not visiting with her kids at all?
Well, she's not a good role model. I guess that would be the main reason, and her coming in and out of their life and hurting them would be my main reason.
Okay. It would be difficult to take away her rights completely. What you can do is have some type of supervised visitation. You can restrict her rights. You can restrict it as to where she will visit. You can restrict it as to her being alone. And if she is actually doing things that are detrimental to these children, and certainly not seeing them often can be very detrimental. They get very confused. There's something you can do about it, but as far as terminating her rights completely, unless she's willing to do that, then it's going to be very difficult to do.
Jim, what does the court look at to terminate parental rights? What is it that the judge, I assume it's done by a judge, and what is it that the judge is measuring when he makes that decision?
Well, a judge is going to look at what's in the best interest of a child. And that's their foremost concern is when you're dealing with children, what's in the child's best interest.
Sure.
And if a parent is detrimental for the child's well-being, they're not going to terminate that parent's visitation rights with those children. They might restrict it in the ways I just said, but to totally terminate their rights, it'd have to be pretty bad.
Understand.
Well, he was asking too about the cost, though, if he does move forward. So what's your advice as far as the cost? He would have to pay attorney, and what about court costs? How does that, what all is he looking at?
Typically, David, were you married to this woman?
Never was married. I'm maybe possibly common law, but other than that, no, sir.
And the reason I'm asking is there are two different courts for this. If you're married, you'd go to domestic relations. When you're not married, you go to what we refer to as family court. What you would do is there's a filing fee in family court. It's not much. It's about roughly $100 to file termination of parental rights, or what we refer to as a TPR. At that point, then it's just a matter of time, and these things can take a lot of time, David. And family court, unfortunately, I don't know if you've ever been there, but family court, you can spend a lot of time waiting to be heard by the judge, and what you don't see is what's going on behind the scenes with the lawyers and sometimes the judges. But you'll have to pay this lawyer for his or her time, regardless of whether you're just sitting out there in the break area or not. But it can get pretty costly.